Have you ever wondered what it truly means when a man loves from the heart, not just with his body, but with his soul? Think about it for a moment. In a world where so many relationships feel rushed, shallow, or temporary, what separates an ordinary connection from one that changes everything? The answer is not in grand gestures, not in expensive gifts, and not in empty promises. It is found in the way a man shows up when love becomes more than desire, when it transforms into devotion. That is the moment when every action carries meaning, when every touch holds truth, and when every word is born from the deepest part of his being. There is a kind of intimacy that goes beyond physical closeness. It is the kind of intimacy that makes you feel safe enough to breathe, safe enough to be vulnerable, safe enough to reveal who you really are without fear of judgment. When a man loves from the heart, he does not simply take, he gives. He does not simply want, he honors. He does not simply chase passion, he builds trust. And if you have ever longed for love that feels real, love that cannot be shaken by time or circumstance, then you already know how rare and precious this kind of devotion truly is. But here's the truth many people forget. Love is not just about what is felt, it is about what is shown. The deepest feelings in the world mean nothing if they are not expressed. That is why men who love from the heart behave differently. Their actions carry weight. Their choices reveal care. Their presence brings peace instead of doubt. These are not random habits or accidental behaviors. They are reflections of something deeper, something every human being craves: certainty, loyalty, and emotional safety. And here is why you should stay with me until the end, because once you understand the signs, once you can see the truth behind his actions, you will never again have to question whether what you are experiencing is genuine love or temporary affection. You will recognize the difference. You will feel the power of love that is real, and you will know how to protect it, nurture it, and honor it when it finds you. Imagine how freeing it would be to never second guess someone's intentions. Imagine how much lighter your heart would feel knowing the love in your life is rooted in truth, not pretense. This matters because deep down, every soul longs for a love that is secure, not love that comes and goes like the seasons, not love that fades when challenges appear, but love that grows stronger with time. And men who love from the heart cannot hide it. Their actions will reveal everything. They will not always use perfect words. They may not always know how to express every emotion. But their consistency, their patience, and their quiet sacrifices will speak louder than anything else. Stay with me, because over the course of this journey, I will share 7 powerful truths, 7 things men do when they make love from the heart. And when you hear them, you will not only recognize love when it appears in your life, you will also begin to understand what it takes to create and hold on to the kind of connection that heals, inspires, and transforms. Because this is more than just about men. It is about the universal language of love, the kind that makes us feel seen, valued, and whole. And that is a gift worth fighting for. When a man loves from the heart, the first thing you notice is not how loudly he speaks, but how deeply he listens. Think about how rare that truly is. Most people hear words but never catch the meaning behind them. They wait for their turn to talk, or they rush to give answers without ever sitting in the silence that reveals truth. But a man who loves with his soul pays attention to more than just sound. He hears your pauses. He notices your tone. He senses your unspoken fears. His listening is not passive. It is active, intentional, and full of care. It makes you feel like your voice matters, like your thoughts carry weight, like you are not invisible in a crowded world. This kind of listening is powerful because it tells you one thing very clearly: you are safe. And safety is the foundation of every lasting connection. Without it, love becomes fragile, filled with suspicion, doubts, and questions that eat away at peace. But with it, love grows roots so deep that even storms cannot tear it apart. That is why when a man listens with his whole heart, he is not just hearing words. He is choosing to honor your inner world. He is telling you, without saying a single sentence, that who you are matters more to him than anything else. Psychologists often say that humans crave significance above almost everything else. We want to feel seen. We want to feel like our emotions are valid. We want to know that our stories are heard. When a man listens in this way, he gives you that gift. He tells you that your life, your dreams, your struggles, your laughter, and even your tears have a place in his heart. And when you experience that, something changes within you. The walls you built from past hurts begin to crumble. The fear of being misunderstood starts to fade. You begin to open, to trust, to believe again in the possibility of love that is not temporary, but eternal. Listening may sound simple, But in a world filled with distractions, it is an act of love that requires discipline. It requires humility because to listen deeply, a man must set aside his own ego and center his attention on you. He cannot be consumed with his own needs. He cannot rush to prove himself right. Instead, he has to slow down, focus, and allow your words to take up space. And that is where true intimacy begins, not in grand declarations, but in those quiet moments where two hearts meet through the gift of understanding. Imagine how powerful it feels when you share your fears and instead of judgment, you are met with patience. Imagine revealing your dreams and instead of indifference, you see genuine excitement in his eyes. Imagine admitting your mistakes and instead of cold silence, you feel acceptance that says, you are still worthy. This is what men do when they love from the heart. They listen in a way that heals. They listen in a way that strengthens. They listen in a way that transforms silence into connection and words into bridges. This is why staying engaged matters, because when you begin to understand the depth of this kind of love, you will realize something profound. It is not just about what he does for you. It is also about what it awakens in you. His listening teaches you to listen better. His patience inspires your patience. His willingness to honor your heart invites you to honor his. Love from the heart creates a cycle of growth where both souls rise higher together. And once you experience it, you will never settle for anything less. When a man loves from the heart, his presence becomes a sanctuary. It is not about how many hours he spends with you, but about the quality of the energy he brings when he is there. You can feel it in the way he looks at you without distraction, the way his body language communicates openness, the way his silence feels safe rather than empty. His presence says you are not alone. And in a world where loneliness quietly eats away at so many souls, that presence is not just comforting, it is life-giving. True presence is powerful because it requires more than physical closeness. Anyone can sit beside you while their mind drifts miles away. But when love comes from the heart, he chooses to give you the gift of attention. He is not scrolling through his phone when you speak. He is not half listening while planning his next move. His entire being is engaged in the moment, and that kind of focus communicates love more strongly than any words ever could. It tells you that you are worth pausing for, that you deserve his time, that in this moment, nothing matters more than you. Psychology shows that one of the deepest human needs is to feel prioritized. We want to know that we are not an option, but a choice. Presence is how love proves that truth. It dissolves insecurity. It quiets doubts. It anchors you in the certainty that someone values you enough to give the one thing they can never get back: time. When a man shows up in this way, his actions carry a message stronger than any promise: you are enough. And when you feel enough, love becomes a place of growth instead of a place of fear. Think about how rare this is in a world overflowing with distractions. Everyone is pulled in 100 directions, consumed by endless tasks, pressures, and responsibilities. Yet when a man loves from the heart, he creates a sacred space in the middle of all that chaos. His presence tells you that you are not competing with the noise of the world. And that is what makes his love unforgettable. It is not grand words carved into stone, but small moments of undivided attention that build unshakable trust. Imagine sitting in silence and instead of feeling distance, you feel closeness. Imagine being in his arms and instead of tension, you feel release. Imagine facing a storm in your life and instead of standing alone, you sense his strength beside you. That is the beauty of presence. It does not need to be dramatic. It does not need to be loud. It simply needs to be real. And here is the deeper truth. His presence is not only a gift to you, it is also a reflection of who he is becoming. A man who can be fully present has mastered something rare in himself. He has chosen discipline over distraction. He has chosen connection over convenience. He has chosen love over escape. That choice transforms both people because presence awakens presence. His consistency inspires yours. His focus teaches you how to focus. His devotion plants seeds of devotion in return. This is how real love grows, not in empty promises, not in fleeting moments, but in the steady rhythm of presence that says again and again, I am here and I am not leaving. And when you feel that, your heart finally exhales. You realize that love from the heart is not fragile, not temporary, not uncertain. It is strong, steady, and alive. And once you have known that kind of presence, you will understand why nothing else can compare. When a man loves from the heart, his touch changes meaning. It is no longer about passion alone, no longer about fleeting desire, but about communication without words. A touch becomes reassurance. A hand on your back becomes a promise. An embrace becomes a shelter. Every gesture carries intention, and that intention is to protect, to comfort, to remind you that you are not just wanted, you are cherished. The body speaks when words fall short, and when love flows from the heart, that silent language is filled with tenderness. So often, people mistake physical closeness for true intimacy. But closeness without love leaves emptiness. It may satisfy for a moment, but it does not nourish the soul. When a man loves with his whole being, his touch feeds security instead of doubt. It does not take, it gives. It does not demand, it offers. It does not rush, it honors. That difference is everything. It transforms the physical into the emotional, the ordinary into the sacred. Psychologists have shown that human beings are wired for connection through touch. It calms anxiety, lowers fear, and creates a sense of belonging. But there's something deeper when that touch is fueled by love. It becomes a signal to your nervous system that you are safe. It teaches your heart that you are accepted. It whispers to your soul that you are home. And that feeling is what every human secretly longs for, to be held in such a way that nothing feels missing, nothing feels lacking, nothing feels broken. Think of how healing it is to be embraced after a long day of carrying invisible battles. Think of how powerful it feels when your hand is held not out of habit, but with deliberate care. Think of how steady your spirit becomes when someone places their arms around you, not because they want something in return, but because they want you to feel love. This is what makes the touch of a man who loves from the heart different. It is not about taking energy, it is about giving peace. And here lies the deeper beauty. When his touch comes from a place of love, it awakens something inside you too. It teaches your body that gentleness exists. It teaches your soul that affection can be safe. It teaches your mind that not every connection ends in hurt. His touch becomes more than skin to skin. It becomes heart to heart. And through it, you discover that love is not just felt in the mind, not just seen in words, but experienced in the very way two people hold each other through both joy and struggle. This kind of love is rare. And when you recognize it, you understand why settling for anything less leaves emptiness. Because once you have been held with genuine care, once you have felt love that does not rush or take but honors and protects, your standard for love changes forever. You no longer crave attention without depth. You no longer desire closeness without commitment. You no longer confuse passion with connection. You learn the difference, and that knowledge becomes freedom. A man who loves from the heart teaches through every embrace that love is not about possession, but about presence. Not about taking, but about giving. Not about control, but about respect. And once you have felt that truth through the power of his touch, you will know with certainty that you are not just loved, you are valued, chosen, and safe. And that is the kind of love that transforms everything. When a man loves from the heart, his words take on a different weight. They are not used as tools of manipulation or shallow flattery, but as expressions of truth. His voice carries intention, and every sentence is chosen not just to be heard, but to be felt. He speaks to uplift, not to wound. He speaks to affirm, not to diminish. His words become a mirror that reflects back to you your own worth, reminding you of who you are, even on the days you forget. Words are powerful. They can build or destroy, heal or harm, inspire or crush. And when love is real, a man understands the responsibility of what leaves his lips. He does not throw promises into the air carelessly. He does not fill silence with empty declarations. Instead, his speech becomes a steady river of encouragement, a source of reassurance, a thread that ties two hearts closer together. When he says you are beautiful, you believe him, not because of vanity, but because the conviction in his tone makes you feel seen beyond appearances. When he says he is proud of you, you believe him, because his eyes and his actions echo the same truth. Psychology reminds us that words of affirmation are one of the deepest love languages, because language shapes belief. When a man chooses to use words born from sincerity, he reshapes the way you see yourself. He plants seeds of confidence. He waters the soil of hope. He protects your heart from the lies of insecurity that the world tries to whisper. his voice becomes not just a sound, but a refuge. And in that refuge, you find the strength to stand taller, to believe stronger, to love deeper. This kind of love does not shout for attention. It does not decorate itself with noise. It is found in the simple, quiet moments where words come out as truth rather than performance. A gentle "I'm here," a soft "you matter," a firm "I've got you." These may seem small, but when they come from the heart, they echo louder than the most dramatic declarations. They become anchors that steady you in the storms of doubt. Think about how powerful it feels when someone speaks into your life and you know they mean it. Think about the way your soul exhales when words align with actions, when promises are not broken, when what is spoken carries the weight of integrity. That is what separates surface level love from love rooted in the heart. Words become sacred because they are rare, intentional, and true. And here is the beauty. When you receive love through words spoken with honesty, you are transformed too. You learn to speak with the same care. You learn to communicate not to win, but to connect. You begin to understand that love is built not only through what is done, but through what is said and how it is said. Your own language begins to shift toward healing instead of harming, toward truth instead of fear, toward encouragement instead of criticism. When a man loves from the heart, his words are not about control. They are about connection. They are not about proving. They are about giving. They are not about filling silence. They are about filling the soul. And once you experience this, you realize that words can be more than sound. They can be love made visible. They can be proof that the deepest kind of intimacy is not only touched or seen, but spoken into existence, one sincere word at a time. When a man loves from the heart, his actions reveal consistency. Love is not proven in rare, dramatic gestures. It is proven in the steady rhythm of showing up again and again. Anyone can shine brightly for a moment, but it takes true devotion to keep the flame alive day after day. A man who loves with his soul understands this. His love does not vanish when life becomes inconvenient. His care does not disappear when challenges rise. Instead, he chooses reliability. And through that choice, he builds trust that cannot be shaken. Consistency is one of the deepest psychological needs in relationships. The human heart longs for stability because stability creates security. Without it, doubt grows like a shadow. Was yesterday real, or will tomorrow be different? But when love is expressed consistently, doubt has no place to live. You know where you stand. You know who you can rely on. You know that love is not just a passing emotion, but a commitment woven into daily choices. That is the power of a man who shows love not once, not occasionally, but continuously. This consistency is not about perfection. It is not about never making mistakes. It is about a pattern of faithfulness that speaks louder than flaws. He may stumble, but he returns. He may fall short, but he corrects himself. He may face storms, but he does not abandon. And that pattern becomes the foundation you can lean on. His steady actions teach your heart that it is safe to trust, that it is safe to open, that it is safe to give yourself fully without fear of sudden betrayal. Think about how different it feels when love is steady. No more guessing games. No more wondering if affection today will turn into distance tomorrow. No more emotional roller coasters that leave you drained. Instead, there is calm. Instead, there is peace. Instead, there is confidence that even in silence, even in struggle, even in weakness, love still stands. That is the kind of atmosphere where intimacy deepens, where respect grows, where both hearts find freedom. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is sacred. The small check-ins, the repeated gestures of care, the effort to remember what matters to you, the reliability of being where he said he would be, doing what he said he would do. These actions may not draw applause, but they build something far greater than admiration. They build trust. And trust is the soil in which love can grow roots so deep that nothing can uproot it. The truth is, anyone can impress you for a moment, but only consistency can sustain you for a lifetime. And when you experience it, you realize that true love does not need constant proving, because it proves itself every single day. That is why a man who loves from the heart understands the value of showing up. He knows that without consistency, even the strongest feelings can crumble. But with it, love not only survives, it thrives. This steady devotion creates transformation within you too. It teaches you that love does not need to be questioned every moment. It shows you that peace is possible. It invites you to stop bracing for disappointment and start trusting in connection. And when two people live in that cycle of reliability, the relationship becomes unbreakable. Because when love is consistent, it is not fragile. It is unstoppable. When a man loves from the heart, sacrifice becomes natural. Not the kind of sacrifice that feels heavy or resentful, but the kind that flows from love itself. He does not see giving as losing. He does not see effort as burden. He understands that real love is not about what he can get, but about what he can give. And in that giving, he finds meaning. Sacrifice in this form is not weakness, it is strength. It is proof that his love is greater than his ego, greater than his comfort, greater than his own convenience. True sacrifice is not always dramatic. It is often found in the quiet choices no one sees. Choosing to listen when he is tired, choosing to support your dreams even when it means setting aside his own plans for a moment, choosing patience when frustration rises, choosing to be there in the hard times, not just in the easy ones. These acts may seem small, but together they create the unshakable sense that you are valued above fleeting desires. That is the kind of sacrifice that transforms love from something ordinary into something eternal. Psychology teaches that humans are wired to notice effort. Our hearts recognize when someone chooses us, especially when it costs them something. That recognition builds trust and deepens connection. When a man gives from his heart without keeping score, it sends a powerful message: you are worth it. That message reaches deeper than words. It touches the core of your being, the place where doubts and insecurities live. Sacrifice silences those doubts because it shows love not just in intention, but in action. Think of how it feels when someone chooses your happiness over their own comfort. Think of the warmth that rises in your soul when someone willingly carries part of your burden so you do not have to carry it alone. Think of the gratitude that fills you when someone places your needs in the center of their choices, not because they must, but because they want to. That is what happens when love flows from the heart. Sacrifice stops being about loss. It becomes about partnership. It becomes about building something bigger than self. And here lies the beauty. Sacrifice in love is never one-sided for long. When it is genuine, it inspires reciprocity. His willingness to give awakens yours. His humility invites your humility. His devotion calls forth your devotion. Together, sacrifice creates balance, not of keeping track, but of freely offering. In that balance, love becomes stronger than pride, stronger than fear, stronger than the temptation to pull away when life gets difficult. This is the kind of love that reshapes your vision of relationships. It teaches you that real connection is not about constant ease, but about shared effort. It shows you that love worth having will always require something of you, but what it gives back is infinitely greater. Because every sacrifice made in love builds resilience, trust, and intimacy. Every act of giving without expectation deepens the bond. Every choice to put love above self adds another brick to the foundation of a relationship that can withstand anything. A man who loves from the heart does not see sacrifice as a price. He sees it as an honor. To give for the sake of love is, for him, a privilege. And when you experience that, you realize something life-changing. The greatest love is not about holding on tightly to yourself, but about opening yourself fully to another. Because in that opening, in that sacrifice, love does not shrink. It multiplies. It becomes bigger than fear, bigger than doubt, bigger than anything that tries to break it. And that is why a true love, born from sacrifice, can endure forever. When a man loves from the heart, vulnerability becomes his strength. He does not hide behind walls of pride or masks of perfection. He allows himself to be seen fully. His fears, his doubts, his insecurities, and his hopes. He understands that real intimacy cannot exist where there is only performance. Love thrives in truth, and truth requires the courage to be vulnerable. This is not weakness. It is one of the purest forms of bravery, because it means trusting you with the parts of him that the world rarely gets to see. Vulnerability is powerful because it builds connection that nothing else can replace. When someone reveals their true self, it creates a bridge from heart to heart. It strips away pretense and invites authenticity in return. A man who can open his heart in this way is saying, I trust you with my truth. And that trust is a gift more valuable than anything money could buy. It is the foundation of closeness that goes beyond attraction and reaches into the soul. Psychology shows that vulnerability is essential for building secure attachments. Without it, relationships remain shallow, bound only by surface level appearances. But when vulnerability is present, walls come down and both partners are free to be themselves without fear of rejection. That freedom is rare, and it is what makes love feel like home. A man who loves from the heart gives you that freedom, not by demanding your openness, but by modeling his own. Think of how deeply it impacts you when someone confesses their fears and still stands strong. Think of the tenderness you feel when someone admits they don't have all the answers, yet they are willing to walk with you through uncertainty. Think of the closeness that blooms when someone shares their scars, not for pity, but as proof that healing is possible. Vulnerability transforms relationships from a place of performance into a place of truth, and truth is the soil where love grows roots that cannot be torn out. This kind of openness does more than connect two people. It heals. When you witness vulnerability from a man who loves you, it softens the guarded parts of your own heart. It shows you that you don't need to be perfect to be loved. It teaches you that flaws are not barriers, but bridges when shared in love. His courage to reveal inspires your courage to reveal. His honesty awakens your honesty. His willingness to be seen invites you to step out of hiding. Together, this creates a bond stronger than any facade could ever sustain. Vulnerability also builds trust in the deepest way possible. Words and actions matter, but when someone exposes their soul, they are saying, I believe you will protect this. And when that belief proves true, the bond becomes unshakable. It becomes a relationship where silence feels safe, where mistakes don't be destroyed, where love doesn't vanish at the first sign of imperfection. Instead, it grows stronger because it is built on truth rather than illusion. A man who loves from the heart knows that hiding protects nothing. He chooses to risk being seen because he knows that only in honesty can love flourish. And when you experience this kind of love, you realize that real strength is not in pretending to be unbreakable. Real strength is in being open enough to be touched, honest enough to be understood, and brave enough to be loved exactly as you are. And once love has been built on this kind of truth, it cannot be broken because what is real can always endure. When a man loves from the heart, protection becomes one of his deepest instincts, not protection born from control or fear, but protection born from care. He does not shield you to limit your freedom, but to create an environment where your freedom can thrive. His protection is not about dominance, it is about safety. It is the steady assurance that no matter what the world throws at you, you do not face it alone. His love takes the form of a shield, not to imprison you, but to guard you so you can grow without fear. Protection in this sense is not always physical, though he will stand between you and danger without hesitation. It is emotional, spiritual, and psychological. It is the way he defends your worth when others try to diminish it. It is the way he speaks life into your dreams when the world tries to silence them. It is the way he refuses to let doubt consume you because he sees more in you than you sometimes see in yourself. His presence becomes a barrier against the voices that try to break you down, and through his love, you find the courage to rise higher. Psychology tells us that one of the greatest human needs is to feel secure. Without security, love is fragile, but when safety is established, love can flourish. A man who loves from the heart gives you that security, not by erasing all problems, but by walking with you through them. His protection is not about removing struggle. It is about making sure you never have to face struggle without support. That kind of love gives your soul rest because it tells you that you can lean without fear of falling. Think about the difference it makes when someone stands firmly beside you instead of leaving you to fight alone. Think about the strength that rises in you when you know someone will defend you, even when you are not there to defend yourself. Think about the relief that floods your heart when you realize that your pain is not carried in silence because someone has chosen to carry it with you. This is the essence of protection and love. It is not about control. It is about partnership. And here lies the deeper beauty. Protection born from love is never heavy. It is freeing. It does not suffocate. It strengthens. It does not confine. It empowers. His protection gives you the confidence to step boldly into the world because you know that even in your most vulnerable moments, you are not exposed. You are held. That assurance allows you to risk more, dream more, and give more of yourself Because fear no longer dictates your steps, this kind of protective love also creates a cycle of trust. His care for you invites your care for him. His willingness to defend you inspires your willingness to stand by him. Together, that bond grows into a partnership where both people guard each other's hearts, each other's peace, each other's purpose. Love becomes not just a feeling, but a fortress, strong enough to weather storms, yet soft enough to welcome rest. A man who loves from the heart does not protect to prove his strength. He protects because his heart would not allow him to do otherwise. To him, your safety, your joy, your peace are not optional. They are sacred. And when you feel that kind of devotion, you understand that love at its truest is not fragile, not selfish, not fleeting. It is powerful, steady, and unbreakable because it carries within it the deepest promise of all. You are never alone. When a man loves from the heart, he invests in your growth. He does not feel threatened by your dreams, your ambitions, or your potential. Instead, he celebrates them as if they were his own. His love is not about keeping you small so that he can feel big. His love is about lifting you higher because he understands that when you rise, the relationship rises with you. He sees your light not as competition, but as inspiration. And through his encouragement, you begin to believe more deeply in what you are capable of becoming. Support and love is not passive, it is active. It is not simply saying, I believe in you, but proving it with actions. It is being there when you doubt yourself. It is pushing you gently when fear holds you back. It is listening to your vision, not with indifference, but with excitement that fuels your confidence. His support becomes a foundation beneath your feet, steady enough to catch you when you stumble, strong enough to remind you that falling does not mean failure. This kind of love makes you braver because you no longer walk alone. Psychology shows that encouragement from someone we love has a powerful effect on our self-concept. When the people closest to us believe in us, our ability to succeed multiplies. A man who loves from the heart becomes a mirror of your highest self. He reflects back to you the version of you that you sometimes struggle to see. His faith in you strengthens your faith in yourself, and through his support, you gain the courage to step into opportunities you might have otherwise feared. Think about the difference it makes when someone not only accepts who you are, but also pushes you toward who you can become. Think about how it feels to have someone in your corner, not just clapping for your victories, but walking beside you through the preparation, the failures, and the long nights of effort. Think about the love it takes for someone to celebrate your growth, even when it stretches them, even when it requires patience, even when it means watching you step into spaces bigger than both of you imagine. That is not insecurity. That is true devotion. This kind of love removes limitations. It shows you that relationships are not cages, but wings. They are not meant to confine, but to expand. His love tells you, go further, go higher, go bolder, because he knows that your growth does not diminish him. It strengthens the bond you share. And when you experience that kind of support, you stop holding yourself back. You stop apologizing for your dreams. You stop fearing that your success will cost you love. Instead, you realize that true love celebrates your shine because it was never about competition. It was always about companionship. The beauty of this love is that it becomes reciprocal. His support of your growth inspires you to support his. His pride in your victories makes you proud of his. His willingness to believe in your potential invites you to believe in his. Together, you form a partnership where both souls rise, where both destinies expand, where love is not about keeping each other comfortable, but about pushing each other toward greatness. A man who loves from the heart does not fear your power. He fuels it. He does not shrink when you succeed. He smiles wider because to him, your growth is not a threat. It is a victory you both share. And when love becomes a force that builds instead of restrains, it transforms not only the relationship, but the very people within it. That is the kind of love that awakens destiny. When a man truly loves from the heart, his words carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are honest. His communication is not about winning arguments or proving himself right. It is about creating understanding, building trust, and keeping connection alive even in difficult moments. He chooses truth over convenience because he knows that without truth, there can be no real intimacy. His voice becomes a safe place where honesty does not wound but heals, where vulnerability is not exploited but honored. This kind of communication is rare because it requires courage. It is easy to hide behind silence, to avoid hard conversations, to pretend that everything is fine. But love from the heart refuses to hide. It steps into the discomfort because it knows that only by facing truth can two people build something unbreakable. His honesty is not brutal. It is compassionate. He speaks with care, even when the words are hard to hear. He listens with attention, even when the truth challenges his ego. His goal is not to be right, but to be real. And that kind of communication builds a foundation no storm can wash away. Psychologists explain that relationships thrive not on the absence of conflict, but on the presence of repair. The way two people navigate disagreement matters more than whether disagreements exist. A man who loves from the heart understands this. He does not run from conflict. He does not shut down or turn away. Instead, he leans in because he knows that working through the tension is what strengthens the bond. He listens not just to respond, but to understand. He asks not just to argue, but to learn. His honesty and openness create space for growth, not distance. And when he communicates love, he does so without hesitation. He does not leave you guessing, does not keep his feelings locked away as if affection were weakness. He tells you, he shows you. He makes it clear because he knows that unspoken love can wither, but expressed love grows. His words are not empty, they are backed by action. His promises are not vague, they are lived out daily. And in his transparency, you feel secure because you no longer have to question where you stand. There is deep power in being with someone who is not afraid to reveal himself, to admit fears, to acknowledge mistakes, to share dreams without embarrassment, to speak of his love without restraint. That kind of communication is intimacy in its purest form because it allows two hearts to meet without masks, without walls, without fear. When he speaks, you feel seen. When he listens, you feel valued. When he opens up, you feel trusted. And all of these create a bond that feels unshakable. Love from the heart speaks not to impress, but to connect. It communicates not just through words, but through presence, tone, and action. It says, you matter. This matters. We matter. And when you experience that, you realize that true communication is not about constant talking. It is about deep understanding. It is about creating a rhythm where both voices are heard, both truths are honored, both hearts are safe. That is the kind of communication that keeps love alive, not for a moment, but for a lifetime. Love that comes from the heart is not only spoken or shown in big gestures. It is revealed in consistency. It is easy to be present when everything feels new and exciting. It is simple to give attention when passion burns hot. But the measure of true love is not in its spark, it is in its steadiness. A man who loves from the heart does not disappear when life becomes ordinary. He does not withdraw when the initial thrill fades. He stays, he shows up. He proves through time and presence that his love is not a passing feeling, but a lasting choice. Consistency builds trust in ways that grand words cannot. When someone shows up again and again, when their actions match their promises day after day, your heart begins to rest. You no longer live in uncertainty, wondering if the love will last, if the care will fade, if the commitment will waver. His reliability becomes a quiet strength, a reassurance that you can lean on not only when life is bright, but also when it grows heavy. And in that steady presence, you discover a deeper kind of passion, the kind that survives seasons, the kind that endures storms, the kind that does not vanish when things get hard. Research in psychology shows that predictability and dependability are cornerstones of emotional safety. Human beings thrive when they know they can count on the people closest to them. Love becomes strongest not when it is tested in moments of ease, but when it proves itself in the face of challenge. A man who loves with his heart understands that consistency is not boring. It is sacred. It is the daily choice to honor, to nurture, to show up, even when no one is watching, even when there is nothing to gain but the quiet satisfaction of being true. This kind of love does not confuse you. It does not leave you questioning motives or doubting intentions. It does not create highs and lows that drain your spirit. Instead, it creates balance, peace, and stability. It builds a rhythm of trust where your nervous system can relax, where your heart can feel safe, where your mind no longer races with uncertainty. Consistency is a form of love that speaks louder than the most beautiful words. It is love proven, love embodied, Love you can see and touch every single day. And the beauty of consistency is that it deepens intimacy over time. Every act of reliability becomes another thread woven into the fabric of your bond. Every kept promise becomes another layer of strength in the foundation you share. Every time he shows up, no matter how small the gesture, he is saying without words, you matter to me. This matters to me. We matter to me. And when you feel that day after day, year after year, you realize that this is the kind of love that does not simply burn bright for a season, but shines steadily for a lifetime. A man who loves from the heart chooses consistency because he knows that passion may light the fire, but commitment keeps it burning. He understands that love is not proven in fleeting intensity, but in enduring reliability. And when you experience this kind of steady devotion, it becomes clear that true love is not about chasing constant highs. It is about building something so solid, so unwavering, that no circumstance can shake it. That is the kind of love that lasts. When a man truly loves from the heart, he makes space for your soul to breathe. He does not demand that you shrink yourself to fit his comfort. He does not place limits on your identity or silence your voice to protect his pride. Instead, he creates room for you to exist fully, to express yourself freely, to grow without restraint. His love is not about control, but about liberation. It is about honoring your individuality while cherishing your connection. He understands that real intimacy does not come from possession, but from freedom. The freedom to be fully yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. This kind of love is deeply empowering. It teaches you that you do not have to choose between love and authenticity. You do not have to compromise your dreams, your values, or your essence to be accepted. A man who loves from the heart does not ask you to dim your light. He encourages you to shine brighter. He does not compete with your strength. He admires it. He does not diminish your voice. He listens to it. His love says, you are enough exactly as you are, and I want all of you, not just the parts that are easy or convenient. That message frees you from the weight of pretending, and in that freedom, love becomes deeper, purer, and more alive. Psychologists speak of autonomy as one of the most essential needs in human connection. To feel free within a relationship is not the opposite of commitment. It is the foundation of it. When someone honors your independence, you are not pushed away from them. You are drawn closer because your bond is no longer suffocating, but life-giving. A man who loves this way does not see your independence as a threat, but as a strength that enriches the relationship. He knows that love rooted in control is fragile, but love rooted in freedom is unbreakable. This freedom also builds trust at the deepest level. When you are given the space to choose, your choice to stay becomes more meaningful. When you are allowed to be fully yourself, your commitment grows not out of fear, but out of genuine devotion. And when he trusts you enough to give you space, it shows that his love is not based on insecurity, but on confidence. He knows that love is not about chains. It is about connection. It is not about holding tighter. It is about trusting deeper. That kind of love cannot be forced, and because it is not forced, it lasts. When you experience this, your heart rests differently. You no longer feel the need to guard your truth or hide your passions. You no longer feel guilty for needing time, space, or individuality. Instead, you discover that love can coexist with freedom and that, in fact, the two strengthen each other. His love becomes a sanctuary where you are not only loved but accepted, not only cherished but respected, not only held but set free. A man who loves from the heart knows that love is not about keeping someone close, about limiting their wings. It is about standing beside them as they soar, knowing that the higher they rise, the stronger the bond becomes. In this kind of love, there is no fear of losing because the connection is not built on control. It is built on trust, respect, and freedom. And when love is built this way, it becomes a source of strength so profound that it not only survives, but thrives, no matter what life brings. When a man loves from the heart, he protects not only your body, but your spirit. His presence becomes a shield not built from control or dominance, but from devotion. He guards your peace the way one guards a treasure, because to him, that is what you are. His protection is not about locking you away. It is about creating a world where you can move freely without fear, knowing that someone stands beside you, ready to defend your worth at all costs. This kind of protection is not loud or aggressive. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering. the kind that reminds you every single day that you are safe. True protection in love is not only about external dangers, it is about the invisible battles you face within. It is about shielding you from the weight of unnecessary doubts, from the voices that try to make you feel small, from the shadows of your own insecurities. A man who loves from the heart does not dismiss your fears, he eases them. He does not laugh at your wounds, he honors them. He does not tell you to toughen up, he reminds you that you are not alone. His protection is a constant reassurance that you do not have to carry every burden by yourself. Psychology teaches us that emotional safety is one of the greatest predictors of long-term relational fulfillment. When you feel safe with someone, your nervous system calms, your heart opens, your soul relaxes. Safety creates the foundation for intimacy because love cannot flourish in an atmosphere of fear. A man who loves from the heart understands this instinctively. His actions say, you are secure with me, you can trust me, you can rest in me. That safety does not suffocate you. It frees you to give more, to love more, to be more, because you no longer feel the need to protect yourself at every turn. This kind of love is powerful because it quiets the chaos of the world. You can walk through challenges with confidence because you know that someone has your back. You can face uncertainty with courage because you know that someone will not let you fall alone. You can open your heart fully because you know that he will not use your vulnerability against you. His love is not a weapon. It is a fortress. It is not a chain. It is a refuge. And in that refuge, you discover what it means to feel truly safe, body and soul. When you are loved like this, something inside you changes. You stop living in defense mode. You stop waiting for betrayal, for abandonment, for harm. Instead, you begin to trust. You begin to soften. You begin to love more deeply because love that feels protected invites you to give without hesitation. You no longer guard your heart with walls of steel because his love itself has become your shelter. A man who loves from the heart knows that protection is not about control. It is about care. It is not about proving strength. It is about offering peace. And when you are held in that kind of safety, your soul grows, your spirit expands, your love deepens. Because when you feel truly protected, you can finally give your heart without fear. And that is when love reaches its purest, most powerful form.